Welcome to a Delco Nerd Network podcast. I am your host, Anthony Ragucci, and this is Replay, Relive, and Re-Experience, as we like to call it, Re3, where you guess it, we do all three of those things to our favorite video game franchises. In this edition of Re3, we'll be replaying, reliving, and re-experiencing the Halo franchise, starting with Halo Combat Evolved and ending with Halo 5 Guardians in anticipation for Halo Infinite on December 8th. Here to go on Master Chief Saga with me, as always, the triple threat himself, Chris Trio.
We're back.
And Delaware County's own Chris Geddes.
We're back. Ready for ONI Sword Base?
Absolutely. That's what I came for.
On episode 24, as Chris said, Onion Sword Base, ONI Sword Base, and Nightfall are the levels we'll be talking about today. Our synopsis for ONI Sword Base. This is the third campaign level. That's pretty much it. Cool. The screen fades to black on Bad Catha Ice Shelf. Two Falcons, call sign Kilo 3-3 and 3-4, head toward the coast. Noble 2 is shown slipping in a chip into his datapad and typing something. Sword Base, Bad Catha Ice Shelf, EPOS. July 26, 2552. 11:26 is our time. It's AM.
Definitely. Sword control.
Be advised, Kilo 3-3 and Kilo 3-4, your current LZ is too hot.
Roger that, Dot. Stand by to receive and respond.
Roger that, period, dot.
Yeah, did I not?
No, you like
yeah, Roger that. Oh.
Roger that.
Oh, I see.
Sentence.
Roger that. Dot. Stand by to receive and respond.
So who is Dot? Anti-Dot, also simply known as Dot, was a UNSC dumb AI construct at the time of the fall of Reach. She monitored and assisted Noble Team during the battle and kept the team's members connected while they were embarking on separate missions. She observed the team through the security cameras and satellites over Reach. Rather than personifying her in the form of a humanoid avatar, Dot's personal representation is a grid of glowing, constantly changing blue lights. She typically speaks in a calm, dry, and articulate voice with a British accent. So, like, she is like the exact opposite of Cortana. Yeah. Like, she's not intelligent. She's dumb.
She's very much she's a early generation AI almost.
Yeah, but she's not sentient.
Sure.
Like, she does her job. She's not like quipping or saying funny things. Mm-hmm. So, and she doesn't have like a body, and I think that like kind of reflects that, right? If she had a body, it would be like, oh, this is a Cortana like AI.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. The Falcons pass a large island. An SDV class heavy corvette holding position comes into view.
Yes, Commander. Coordinates received. Initiate immediate course correction. The Office of Naval Intelligence Sword Base is presently under siege. Now it's going in Australian from a Corvette Covenant vessel. Due to the sensitive nature of this facility, use of orbital rounds has been, for the moment, prohibited. Regrettably, my efforts to obtain relevant data on the enemy forces has been unsuccessful. However, current defensive forces are insufficient. ONI has requested Noble Team's direct intervention to help secure Sword Base.
All right, people. We're stuck with that ship for the time being. Let's focus on the hostile infantry and give those troopers a hand.
A base security camera shows Covenant ground forces engaging UNSC Army troopers as the Falcons fly over.
Cat, 6, you're out here. George, Emil, you're next. Get prepped.
Let's move, Lieutenant.
Please go after every time she talked. Yeah. Sorry.
I'm keeping
Gonna lose the other arm.
That was good.
The Falcon lowers close to the ground. Cat and 6 jump out. 6 and Cat clear the courtyard and move to the outside of the base. 6 takes the target locator. And the Spartans then head out of the base, which he'll use to destroy the Wraith blocking your exit.
You doing target designator?
Yeah, I can. Picking up the target designator, the H165 Forward Observer module, also known as the target locator or designator, is a UNSC artillery firing device. The target locator is a compact handheld laser emitter designed for acquiring and designated targets for small-scale precision rocket artillery support. Although small, it is a very powerful weapon. While similar function to the UNSC laser designator, the target locator is much smaller and can be held with one hand. The target locator has a both 2 and 4 times magnification.
This reminded me of? I mean, I feel like there's probably plenty of weapons in other games that do similar type of things, but the Hammer of Dawn.
Hammer of Dawn. I was just thinking.
Oh yeah,
the
Hammer of Dawn is such a character.
Yeah, it's again, you have that
thing.
It's so that laser coming down. This is a little less intense.
Yeah,
but it's still
the Hammer of Dawn and Gears is like I said, it's like a character. Like it's very like it's got such a like
larger than life,
force,
yeah.
and it's got a reason to be there. Like they use the hammer
They
of dawn
break it
to
out, like
fucking eradicate the planet of the locusts. Like they decimate. Like that's one of the things. Getting real off topic. One of the things in Gears like Gears 5, like they stop using the hammer of dawn because Chairman Prescott in like 1, 2, and 3, and like before the games, like they say, they authorize the use of that, and they like fucking eradicate the planet. Like they destroy it because of that. So it's kind of interesting to look at that. Very off topic, but yeah, the Covenant. It's funny the UNSC don't really have like anything like that.
No, it's true, and even like it's never used again. Obviously, after again, why would that not be a weapon?
I think in Halo 4 you use something like it.
Oh, really?
I think it's the laser. Remember when you're like on the big elephant with like Lasky and you're like taking out big AA guns?
Sounds
I think.
familiar.
Yeah, we'll get there next game. After this, we'll move into the regions surrounding Sword Base, activating an anti-air gun and a comm relay. You can do these tasks in any order. Near the comm relay, we can get into the Covenant Revenant. And so we are getting into the Revenant trio. Can you read this one for me?
Absolutely, I can. The Type 48 light assault gun carriage, more commonly known as the Revenant, is a Covenant Army craft vehicle that is utilized during the Fall of Reach. The Revenant is a light infantry support vehicle, while driving mechanics are similar to those of the Ghost. Historically, it was designed to fill a gap in between the Ghost and the Wraith. While the role would be replaced at sometimes by the Spectre and the Prowler, the Revenant was the most effective. Originating from an older, cruder Sangheili design, the Revenant is one of the few vehicles produced by the merchants of Kikost, and is an example of Covenant private sector innovation.
Basically, think of it as they paid a company to make a weapon.
Stark Tech. I get it. It is armed with a single Class 2 plasma mortar, essentially a downscaled, less powerful version of the plasma mortar mounted on the Wraith. The Revenant is more agile than most vehicles and has the ability to boost, but provides little protection for its occupants. It can carry one passenger in a side seat.
This is really a an in between the Ghost and the Wraith.
It truly is. It's like if you took them and just mashed them together. It really is.
That's what you got. I like the Revenant.
Oh, I love it. And
Does
it show up in 5 or anything like that?
No. This is the only
I
time.
feel like they brought back a ton of things in like 5 for that Warzone mode. But I guess that's
Yeah,
funny
a lot
that
of
wasn't one of them.
random shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You can get the fucking anti-aircraft one. Wraith.
in
Firefight.
really.
Or not
yeah.
in fire in
In
Warzone,
Warzone?
yeah.
After we complete our 2 tasks, we'll head back into Sword Base. Once inside, we'll head up the building and work our way to Carter and Emil. Did you guys have anything on the comment in Sword Base? I have a few things that I kind of.
I remember that map from the beta when the game originally
Yeah,
came
that,
out.
Yeah.
it definitely
That was a beta
that was
map.
one of the
Yeah,
most
Sword Base, yep.
yeah, that was the one that I remember the most. Absolutely, that
Yeah,
like
that
kind of
map.
stacked map. Yeah,
Yeah.
with all the tower, with all the bridges and such.
Yeah. One thing I noticed: the ONI facility has an AI like the superintendent. It talks like it. Like when you get in there, it's like
If you can
talks
hear
to
it.
you like
Sure. Yeah.
Good point. And then there's a Spectre Elite dual wielding plasma rifles. I thought was kind of interesting because I don't think we've seen Elites dual wield, even though they do all the time. Or am I wrong?
I couldn't tell you.
Like I'm trying to think. Oh, you know who dual wields Taz of Adumi, the heretic
Halo
leader
2.
does, but I'm like I don't think like you see that many Elites dual wielding. I could
I
be
don't think
wrong.
so.
But this stood out to me. We'll work our way up to the top of the building, and we have to destroy some Banshee and Phantoms, where we get to use the rocket launcher for the first time in the game, and lock on his back, boys.
Yay! Woo! But then it's gone. Then it's back.
Is it in 5?
I don't know. I was saying it's gone because Halo
You know what's
1
funny?
and Halo
I
2.
barely
Oh,
play
yeah.
any game modes with like vehicles. I don't remember. I don't know. In 5,
Yeah, I can tell you.
I think you do. I think it does lock.
You want to read? Yeah, trio.
Yeah, sure.
Gotcha.
We're on 2
You
long
actually
swords.
have a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of dialogue between George and Carter come up, so I'll do this.
Okay,
that
cool.
sounds good.
Good call.
2 longswords fly towards the Corvette, which is attempting to flee. Noble 6 watches as the longswords follow the Corvette for a distance, but soon break off. A Mac round suddenly penetrates the Corvette from above. Its engines flicker, and it loses altitude. The view changes back to 6. George emerges from the shadows, approaching 6.
Beautiful, ain't it? Someone should take a picture.
The Corvette crashes into the lake.
Nice work, by the way.
I aim to please.
5, 6. Get down to the science wing. Dr. Halsey wants a debrief and command saying, we're all hers. Repeat. Sounded like you said, Halsey. I did. Copy that. We're on our way. Don't need command to tell me. Been all hers half my life.
George, Emil, and Six walk away. The Corvette is shown in the background sinking into the lake. They soon arrive at the science wing where Carter is talking to Dr. Halsey, who is behind a shield door.
I request your assistance, Commander, and I do not need to report on an event that occurs on my own doorstep. What do I require? A detailed account of your previous engagement.
What
Halsey,
a bitch. I'm sorry. I had to
no,
say
you're
that.
good. You're good.
She's a
Let it
bitch.
out.
Yeah, no, that was it. She was just a bitch.
She's always.
She's a hardcore bitch. But sorry.
Halsey pauses mid-sentence as she notices George entering the room.
George. It's been too long.
Mom.
I thought he actually said
Mom.
I thought that
Yeah.
too, but that's how.
which
Mom.
would make sense
with a
Yeah.
I think just with certain accents, like even with
British.
Yeah, like with James Bond,
See,
they go mum.
Dude,
So it's ma'am.
I thought he was calling M mom.
Yeah, no, it's ma'am.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Mind
No,
blower.
Yeah.
And like
And there's 3 James
no
Bond
shit.
faces, yeah.
No shit.
But that's
I
what-
really thought
it
he was
really-
calling
that clicks.
M meant mom.
That clicked for me too as I literally read that,
Wow.
because I would have if I didn't have subtitles on, I would have said he's saying mom.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I absolutely would have.
What have you done with my armor?
George and Noble Six look at his armor.
Just some additions I've made.
Indeed. Visegrad Relay. Its data center was home to one of my xenoarchaeologists, Professor Laszlo Sorvad. Perhaps you could shed some light on his death?
If he was a civilian male in his mid-60s, he died with a Covenant energy sword through his abdomen.
Elites, then.
They engaged us as well. It's just after we found your scientist's daughter, ma'am. She was hiding in the.
Irrelevant. The Elites. Tell me more about them.
I don't care. Nope.
I'm a bitch. All right. Three Zealot class. One got by us. The leader, from the looks of him.
Zealots. Are you certain?
Their armor was their armor configuration matched.
Shield strength, too.
I gave the order not to pursue. Our primary objective was to get the station's relay back online.
Your primary objective? Commander. Are you a puppet or a Spartan?
Emil and June look at Dr. Halsey.
Ma'am?
There are those at ONI, myself included, who believe the Covenant dispatch elite advance teams to hunt down artifacts of value to their religion. Survivor account suggests teams are small, nimble, and almost always Zealot class. No doubt they came to the station for the abundance of ONI excavation data stored there, and you let them get away?
Data retrieval was not a command directive, and even if we had known, we had other, more urgent matters to attend to.
Like warning the planet. Oh, sorry.
No, you just didn't give the accent.
Like warning the planet. Professor Sorbad's final entry in his field notes made reference to a latchkey discovery. Latchkey. Not a word he would use lightly. So let's hope the data module you and Lieutenant Commander stole contains it.
Cat?
Before you ask, I was alerted the moment you attempted to access its contents, as I am with any unauthorized tap.
Kat walks over and places the module in a container in the shield door.
Halsey to Cat. The data is classified Tier 1. I could send you to the brink for that, for interfering with my work.
Is she behind this wall just for security reasons?
I think so.
Like it's not like contained. It's not like quarantine. Like
No,
there's
no,
nothing.
no.
Okay,
She's not arrested just
I was
yet.
curious. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
not yet.
Yeah.
Halsey pulls the container towards her side of the shield door and retrieves the module.
Maybe you'd like to join her.
I'm sorry?
We're currently under Emergency Planetary Directive Winter Contingency. I'm sure you're familiar with the punishment for civilian interference in a Spartan deployment.
Are you threatening me, Commander?
Just making a reading suggestion, ma'am.
That's my man Carter right there, sticking it right to her.
That's good.
It's funny how like George being a Spartan 2, the Spartan 2s were abducted by Halsey, and they all,
integrate.
and we'll talk about it.
John's a just Spartan too, right?
yes,
Yeah.
and they all have a very interesting relationship with Halsey, like a mother.
Yeah, motherly yeah.
But like, look at Carter.
He's
Totally
like, fuck
giving the
you.
bitch right back
Yeah,
to her.
like I
Yeah.
did love it. Like,
Yeah, but in a very formal
but
way.
and in a way of
Yeah.
just like, no, I just know what I'm talking about. Fuck
Right,
you. Yeah,
right, yeah.
yeah. It was
Civilian.
great. Yeah.
Carter and Kat start to leave while Halsey begins to examine the module.
Let's move, noble team. Mom.
That will be all, George. That
Fade
is
to
our
black.
level. Before we end, though, we have to talk about who Dr. Catherine Halsey is. MD, PhD, serial number CC409871, was a praised scientist and former employee turned prisoner of of ONI. best known for the creator of the Spartan 2 project and the Mjolnir-powered assault armor. Despite being a civilian, she had a considerable authority within ONI and commanded considerable respect from many military figures. As she grew older, Halsey took various extreme measures to protect remaining Spartans, even going against the military to do so. A choice which would result in her eventual arrest by ONI's Kilo 5 in 2553, a year after the Covenant Human War. In 2558, when Admiral Osman ordered Catherine's execution, Catherine escaped the assassination attempt and defected to Jul Mandama's Covenant.
Catherine Halsey was born on
Idimayan.
on March 19th, 2492. Her childhood would give her glimpses of what would be a promising career. She was smarter than her parents, always reading, talking, learning, and eager to share her knowledge with anyone who would listen. She was sent to, one more time?
Endymion?
Endymion Gifted, which was a elite academy where she continued to push the standards of education. In 2501, her exceptional performance in school afforded her a trip to Circumstance by the Dean of Biological Science at Coulter Browning University. The dean paid for her education until 2507. By this point, at 15 years old, Dr. Halsey was already writing her second doctoral thesis paper in which she discussed the archaic. Is that archaic? Yeah. Archaic line commands. It is also known that sometime in her early life, she supervised the creation template for the third generation smart artificial intelligence. During their survey travels for the Spartan 2 candidates, Halsey grew attached to Jacob Keyes. The two were involved in a romantic relationship in the early 2520s, and that ended in 2525. Halsey gave birth to Miranda and raised her for a few years when on July 12, 2531, Miranda's father agreed to take her in, raising her on Luna. Halsey would later have a falling out with Miranda, who would later change her name to her legal name to her father's and refused to speak to Halsey for several years.
Dr. Halsey served as a scientific advisor for ONI from 2515 to 2522, when she was made chief scientist. She made huge contributions to many ONI Section 3 projects, including the creation and deployment of AI constructs. She created and initiated the Spartan 2 program and designed the Mjolnir armor system. These scientific advancements all proved to be important breakthroughs for the UNSC, as they were ultimately responsible for ensuring the survival of mankind. In 2517, at the age of 25, Dr. Halsey helmed the
That's fucking
25
wild.
years old.
25. I'm a year older than Catherine Halsey, and she's making fucking super soldiers. Crazy.
Super genius.
At the age of 25, Dr. Halsey helmed the Spartan 2 program. Spartan 2 would create a new generation of super soldiers based upon the earlier work of the Orion Project,
Spartan 1.
using abducted children. Establishing a set of rigorous genetic criteria to screen potential candidates, she identified 150 children for the program, but ONI would only give her enough funding to train 75. Thus, Halsey made arrangements to meet each of the candidates in order to determine who her 75 candidates would be. At her request, Junior Lieutenant Jacob Keyes accompanied her during the interview of John 117. Upon choosing her candidates, she then had the children abducted from their homes and brought to the planet Reach for training. The recruited children were replaced with flash clones, which ultimately died within a few years from various neurological and psychological diseases due to complications arising from the unperfected flash cloning process.
We talked about this in literally the first episode
Yeah.
when we were talking about Spartan 2 and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
She was a sick fuck.
Yeah. Halsey kept in close contact with her Spartans throughout their lives from her base under Reach. Tellingly, she was always able to tell them apart from each other, even under a half-ton of Mjolnir battle armor. An ability honed from years of familiarity with her Spartans found annoying. What? An ability honed from years of familiarity with her Spartans,
Which her Spartans found annoying.
which her Spartans found annoying. Dr. Halsey always used their first names, never their ranks or Spartan tags. She always had a huge amount of respect for and from the Spartans as their only mother figure. She commanded absolute obedience from her Spartans.
And again, you can see that with George versus
Yeah,
Carter,
everyone-
like
Right,
you were
yeah.
saying.
There's this
Yeah, like,
instance,
Carter's like, fuck you.
Hey, Mom.
And then, yeah.
Mom.
Like, the way he's like, I'm sorry, you said Halsey? Like, you know,
Yeah. Like, oh shit, I haven't seen my mom in like 20 years.
yeah. Mommy.
Some
Mom.
trivia after the fall of. Okay, I don't know if this is trivia about Halsey or the level. I think it's the level. Anyway, I'm just going to read it. After the fall of Reach, she was declared dead by the Office of Naval Intelligence, although no body was found. She was mentioned in a memorial plaque outside Alpha Site in ODST on Earth. This is because Admiral Prangowski, director of ONI, wanted Halsey to be thought dead, even though she was alive, and under arrest under charges of aiding the enemy, which was a result of her actions after the fall of Reach, and throughout her life, mainly the way which she was acquired children for the Spartan 2 program, so that's why she's arrested. Prangowski needed Halsey because of her technical expertise and knowledge of Forerunner tech, as ONI was building the most advanced UNSC warship ever built, the UNSC Infinity, which has included a great deal of technology from the Forerunners.
So I'm sorry, she was arrested for the kidnapping stuff?
Right.
So ONI was not aware of this? That she was doing? This is how she was recruiting?
That's a good question.
Or they just kind of threw her under the bus?
Maybe.
That's what I think it would make kind of sense. And then they're just like, but you're still working.
They scapegoated
Yeah,
her.
exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Because like that interview in Halo 4, I can't wait to talk about it.
Yeah.
Like when they talk about it, it's like you were tasked with building Spartans for insurrectionists, not fighting the Covenant, and like she kind of like justifies it by being like,
Well, it worked out.
right?
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So it doesn't matter.
We're still here, aren't we?
Who
Yeah,
cares? If it worked.
Right,
Yeah.
and then he's like, talking about how like Master Chief at his core is broken, and that's why he works, and like it's really interesting when they start laying
Is
down
it,
the
is it
law to
Halo 4, the like, not live, it's like a really good, cool CGI like trailer where it's
The
like
beginning?
and he's like putting on, like he's getting the helmet, he's like getting his armor
Oh, yeah,
all
that's
set.
4.
Oh
And,
no,
like,
it's at the end. He gets taken off.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, it's at the end.
That's,
During Didac's like fucking monologue at the end after he dies. But anyway, that is for another episode. Our 4th level, Nightfall, is the sniping level of Reach. It is 2,600 hours and 30 minutes. Trio.
A phantom flies by with its searchlight on. June emerges from a concealed position behind a rock as the dropship passes. He nods to Noble Six to follow him along the cliff's edge.
I really like the beginning of this level with the camera and how it like feel like
It's-
someone's following him and he like goes up and then
Yeah.
down. It's just
I
really
thought that
cool.
was cool, and this is absolutely, obviously, a callback to that first Halo level.
It
Right.
is definitely
Yeah,
a
like
Truth and
that's that's what I was
Reconciliation.
like.
Yes.
That's
100%.
like this is
It really feels like it.
like even the beginning, just the way you're getting off on that first
Truth
cliff,
and
yeah.
Reconciliation is what? 2 levels in?
Thought so,
Yeah.
and that's
Pillar of
is that Halo
Autumn.
1 or is that Halo 2?
Yeah, this is the 3rd level technically.
Yeah.
Yeah, so third. Yeah.
Third
Thought
level.
it was
third-
interesting.
Yeah, they line
Yeah.
up.
Recon Team Bravo reporting. 30 and 6 in position. It's starting to get crowded up here, cats. Then we're closing in. Report any Covenant structures or devices. Direct action may be necessary. Copy that. When Cat runs an up, direct action is always necessary.
June hands 6 a magazine of sniper rounds.
Here, you may need these. High velocity armor piercing. They'll take a hat off an elite at 2,000 yards. They ain't cheap.
June and 6 head further along the ledge. June reaches a boulder and starts to climb it.
I'll be in touch.
Noble 6 slides down the ledge to the ground below.
6.
Okay. 6 heads up along the ledge. An elite stands over the area, back facing them, while a few grunts sleep.
Elite. He's yours. Do it quiet. The assassination mechanic goes without saying.
Yeah.
What do you guys?
I love the
This
assassin.
was
I
one of
think-
the cool. This
Yeah.
is one of the most memorable things
This
that
is
has
like
stuck.
this is like quality of life change, like being like, oh, this is sick.
Yeah,
this
it's
is
just
so
cool.
cool. It's much
Absolutely.
better than
It's
just
not
batting them in the
necessarily,
back.
yeah, it's not something you necessarily need, but like you're saying, quality of life, or not even. I wouldn't even necessarily say quality of life. I'd just say immersion, almost.
Production.
That's
yeah,
why
just
they
in
did
the
all
way
the
of,
motion
like,
cap, honestly. I
Yeah,
feel like
it's
for
like-
a lot of the assassinations
No,
are
it's
really
cool.
clean.
They're really
Yeah.
good. Yeah,
Yeah. It sucks that they're not coming back in Infinite. I don't know why.
they're
Did they-
not.
Yeah, they confirmed no assassinations, at least at launch. They're like the perfect monetizable thing, too. Right?
You get to buy your assassinations. It's great, guys.
That's literally like it's free to play.
What is happening? No, I'm kidding.
It's just I don't
That's
know.
actually kind of a shame.
I mean,
Yeah.
that just seems like such a little. Like I don't know. I don't make games. I'll bite my
makes-
tongue
that
before I
makes-
start.
that-
We'll get
But
season
that
of the
seems
assassin.
like.
Yeah,
That makes
they
me
came
sad.
out and said it on when they first showed off the first tech preview.
yeah.
I think. Yeah, it's a shame.
Was I reading?
No, I was.
Yeah.
So you're moving through human settlements as you're going through the level, taking out all the Covenant that we come across. Then you reach a clearing with Cubbies fighting a giant creature.
Cat, pick up any of that? Affirmative, Recon Bravo. It's an indigenous creature called the Guta.
The Gutta are a gigantic semi-bipedal species native to the planet Reach.
Are you sure they aren't cheese? Sorry, I had like Gouda.
Oh. Jesus Christ. That didn't, I was like, what's he talking about?
Chris almost just left. I just wanted to say that.
The largest terrestrial life forms to be discovered on the planet, Gouta are distinguished not only by their size, but also by their sharp tusks and long claws. Despite their aggression rarely reaching severe levels, they are considered extremely dangerous animals. Trivia: since many of Reach's original settlers were of Hungarian descent, it seems likely that Gouta are named after the same fearsome demon from Hungarian mythology. Gouta were originally set to be in several campaign missions in addition to Nightfall. However, due to resource constraints, this level features the only 2 Gouta in the game. Several ideas were formed around the Gouta, but many were ultimately cut from the game. Among these ideas were Gouta being used as battle mounts by elites and grunts, Gouta that were equipped with mounted weapons, and the ability for the player to hijack Gouta and place a grenade in their mouths. That would have been cool.
Pretty nuts. I think it's cool to see some like alien wildlife. But
Absolutely.
I don't think it's like, that seems almost a little too much.
Yeah, they go down pretty easy too.
Yeah,
on these, yeah.
I couldn't imagine like a fucking elite like fucking riding one of
Yeah.
these things.
Like,
It,
how do they
it sounds
even-
almost a little goofy. June chimes in. Gunfire, Magnum, security sidearm, standard issue.
The trail opens up to a pumping station. Several militia are under attack by Covenant forces.
Noble 2. Some sort of pump station. Got eyes on civilians. I'm thinking more local militia. They've engaged hostiles. Move to assist. They have intel we need. You heard her, 6. Keep the civilians alive. Militia trooper.
Oh. Give us a hand, bastards. Give us a hand, bastards. Give us a hand. These bastards keep coming.
After the Covenant troops in the area are eliminated, the group gathers around a couple briefcases.
A little more action than we're used to. You Spartans are good in a fight.
What are you doing here? Whole area is supposed to be evacuated.
Didn't like leaving it. Didn't like leaving it to someone else to protect our home, so we came back for this. We have them hidden all over the territory.
The briefcases electronically open up to reveal various UNSC weapons.
You know this stuff is stolen.
What, you gonna arrest me?
No, I'm gonna steal it back.
A Phantom shows up and the group moves to defensive positions and basically just defend the hydro plant.
Road leads to the hydroelectric plant, but the gate doesn't work.
Alternate route?
We use the riverbed to smuggle rations, weapons,
Basically anything the UNSC considers contraband.
basically.
Show us.
June and 6 move further into the plant and destroy a Covenant pylon and trek further into the Dark Zone. June and 6 are shown crawling forward. A massive Covenant landing zone is shown ahead of them in the distance.
Jackpot.
Transmitting visual.
You'll see in this, Cat? Confirmed. Receiving Noble 3 and 6's live visual of Covenant strike force. That's no strike force. It's an invading army. If we're going to smother this thing, we need to go in hard and fast. Agreed. All recon teams disengage and fall back. Sun will be up in a few hours. It's going to be a very busy day. Fade to black level ends. Some trivia. This is the only level in any game that features colonial militia. The sniper rifle given to Noble 6 at the start of the mission has more ammunition capacity than normal. This is mission specific only, as Nightfall is a primarily sniper mission, similar to Truth and Reconciliation from Combat Evolved, which Master Chief also has the same thing. And the chapter ... Too quiet is a reference to the second chapter in Silent Cartographer. It's quiet.
Too quiet.
And that is it. That is episode 24, ONI, Sword Base, and Nightfall. Tip of the Spear is next. The Tip of the Spear is kind of like the ramp up.
Yep.
I feel.
Oh, yeah.
I like paused it right as it was getting into the next level.
That
and I was like,
cutscene.
yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm ready.
I watched that whole cutscene. I was like,
I-
I can't wait.
Yeah.
I said at the end of the level, I'm like, and this is where everything goes to shit.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for listening along with us on this Halo journey. Halo Reach has been a lot of fun so far, but we will keep that train coming. You can find this podcast anywhere podcasts are found. Just search Delco Nerd Network. We are on all your favorite social media pages. Just search at Delco Nerds. We have a Facebook page as well as a Discord channel where we talk about, Halo Infinite and other things, among other things. You can find our website, delconerdnetwork.com, on the internet, as well as our... Exactly. As well as our email address, delconerds@gmail.com. Please email us any comments, questions, or concerns. We'd be very happy to get back to you. But in the meantime, for Chris, for Gooch, I've been Trio. Thanks for listening, guys. Stay nerdy, and we will see you next time.